It's 7:30 Central African Time. Hello, Dumoulin, Guyana, Sani Ponani. We're in China today, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. Welcome to the Shanghai International Circuit. It's top-tier breakaway racing, and as you can see, well, it's a matter of seconds before we get the first qualifying session underway. Mercedes is represented here in full. McLaren are also here, both drivers. Tindo is here. Titus, who had such a fantastic qualifying session last time out, he is also here. Loveness, we know what he can do when it comes down to crunch time. He's out here in the Williams, as is Man Ray. He's the sole driver for Ferrari out here today. Well, it's all on his shoulders, is Man Ray, to represent and hopefully score some points for the Scuderia. Yes, the Tifosi perhaps are represented in, fair force, I suppose, out here in the stands in China. But Man Ray will be hoping to do well. And as the drivers are getting set and ready to make sure that they ready up, well, we are looking forward to a spectacle out here in China. We saw some fantastic racing last time out. Of course, Cicle Langa, the one, the only superstar Ferrari driver, successfully defended his title in top-tier breakaway league racing. He is the champion once again. And we're just waiting for one more driver to confirm that they are indeed readied up before the countdown can continue in earnest. But as you can see right now, we have about 20 or so seconds before we get underway out here in China. And of course, by then, the drivers, the engineers, the teams will have an idea of what the weather conditions are like. So do stay tuned. It's good to have you here. Looking forward to seeing you in the comment section and getting a sense of your impressions and your thoughts of how this race is panning out. And, we'll be underway soon enough. It's going to be a good day, I can guarantee you that. It's top-tier breakaway league racing. The first qualifying session due to start in a matter of seconds. Of course, this being the top tier, we have a full qualifying session, Q1, Q2, and Q3, the top 10 shootout for pole position. We will be underway in China. It's not the easiest track as the Shanghai International Circuit, as the countdown is still continuing out here. We're just making sure that all of the available drivers are indeed ready and set down here in the paddock. Hello, says Cicle in the comment section. I believe Cicle might be commenting from some private jet, of course, ready to soak up his winnings on a well-deserved break. But we do hope to see Cicle back from his celebratory tour, wherever he is, and perhaps back on the grid for the final couple of races of the season. 18 minutes in Q1. Ban Kobe is here. Romeo Massigo is here as well. Well, we'll get a sense of how exactly they'll fare in a second or two. I can't wait, folks. Let's make sure you got all the details that you would need, and it's dry conditions out here. And as you can see the track map on the bottom right of your screen, it is not the easiest of tracks. There's a long back straight that the drivers, of course, take full advantage of for potential overtakes. That is, of course, in the third sector. And then there's a heavy braking zone thereafter, where they really have to make sure that they hit that apex. And that heavy braking zone, I would have you know, is also quite a tasty spot for potential overtakes if the person that you're chasing runs wide. And of course, the first sector is extremely challenging. It winds quite a bit, and the drivers have to watch themselves and make sure that they don't get too caught out as far as this particular section that Ban Kobe is navigating here. Now, Ban Kobe is at a topsy-turvy season. As far as points are concerned, he's pretty much done enough in the first portion of the season to ensure that he's in no relegation danger. But, well, he'll want to finish this season off strong. And we've seen what he can do when he really turns it on. He does have the pace to qualify among the front runners and give them something to think about if he can get his trademark solid start. Well, here he is now making his way through the second sector of this track. And this particular left-hander as well is one that definitely has caught a fair share of drivers out, especially if the weather changes and we have inclement weather conditions. Into the braking zone comes Van Kobe now onto that famed back straight. It's a long, winding right-hander onto this portion of the track, and then he goes screaming all the way down to that heavy braking zone before he begins his hot lap in earnest. Van Kobe is on track, as is the Red Bull running Caboza and Tindo, D-Wax, Mello the Mello, Selby and Levo Damnesia, and Titus, and of course Man Ray out there hoping to do well on behalf of Ferrari. Now, Van Kobe looks like he's slowing down a little bit before he screams down that start-finish straight, and he opens up that DRS, and it is underway. He'll be the first driver to set a quick lap. I have just been joined in the comment section by the one, the only Christopher Crash Mkhize, the Haas driver out in Tier 2. Crash, it's good to have you, man. Can't wait to hear your thoughts and impressions on how the session's going to go.
How's the session?
Very good, man. It's not the easiest of tracks that they're on, and yeah, keen to hear your thoughts on where exactly you expect these guys to be caught out. It's Van Kobe making his way now through the second sector, and it looks like there's a slow-moving Mercedes on track. His teammate, well, he's out the way. Here comes Van Kobe now through sector 2. It's a long right-hander into another left-hander, and of course he is going to get set and ready to hit that back straight in a couple of turns time. Here comes Van Kobe. He's going to have to be careful on this left-hander. Of course, don't be surprised to see all those purple sectors. He's the first driver to set a representative time, but it is, of course, the gauntlet that everybody else will have to match here. Van Kobe on the back straight in the Mercedes. Sector 3, screaming down that back straight is Van Kobe. And how exactly will he fare into this braking zone before he completes his hot lap attempt? He's running in the 1 minute 20. He not too bad through that apex there in the penultimate corner. And this one is crucial, of course. If he nails this one, then he could gain a pivotal, crucial 10th or 2. And he crosses the line. It's a 1 minute 32.5 for Van Kobe. Now, let's see who is following him. It is this man, Ciclay's teammate. Ciclay is in the comment section today, and his teammate Man Ray is about to respond to the gauntlet laid down by Van Kobe. Now, interestingly, Man Ray starting Q1 on a set of medium compound tires, and he will cross the line with a 138.151. Some way off is Man Ray here. There's a Haas on its way to the start-finish straight. It is a Nebo, and he crosses the line with a 133.932, but Tindo betters that by a couple of tenths. It's a 133.4. Well, decent time so far. Crash, I'm not sure what kind of times you're expecting as this qualifying session gets underway. Caboza goes quicker than Tindo. It's a 132.757. There's a pair of AlphaTauris on the way, and the furthermost is this man. Selby will set a time good enough for P5, and the other AlphaTauri, D-Wax, sets a fairly quick 133.3. But Tepo Temba is by some margin the quickest man on track. He's just crossed the line to set a 132.110 with 12.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Crash, it's looking good.
Welcome back, TT. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yep, definitely good to see TT back out here on track. We'll see exactly how he fares. He's commandeered a Red Bull here, interestingly, today. But, of course, he is representing the Alpine team. Here comes Romeo now on the final portion of the track. He will cross the line with a 134.453, only good enough for P8. But with that time, he's the quickest running medium tire runner. Man Ray, of course, set that time in the 1 minute 38. But I would have you know that he has gone a second quicker, has the man in the Ferrari, and he's about to cross the line. 136.998. It's only good enough for P9, so a lot of work for Man Ray to do. Tindo has improved by 0.3. He's about to cross the line this time, and it'll be a 133.159, still in P4. It's Tepo Temba from Van Kobe and Caboza, and then we have D-Wax in P5 and Levels in 6th. Selby 7th, and then Romeo in P8. Now, I want to catch up with some of the drivers that are just about to cross the line. It looks like Selby was on a second hot lap attempt, and that leaves him on 1 minute 34.014. His teammate in level looks like he's definitely on the way back. Let's see how Boza is faring, or in fact, the Tepo Temba. But no, he's back in the pit lane. Both Rebels are back in the pit lane. There's a Mercedes, a fast-running Mercedes, and it is this man, Mello the Mello. Unfortunately, he had invalidated, so he's going to go one more time. C-Clay is not here. The cancel's away. The mice are on to play. Let's see what Mello can do here in China. 10.5 minutes to go in the Mercedes. He's on a second attempt. Remember, he just did invalidate. He's one of the drivers running soft tires. So, most of the grid is actually running soft tires, with the exception of Romeo and Man Ray. Let's see what Mello can do. Team Merc for the constructors, says Lugello in the comment section. Well, it's a big chance for both these Mercs to take a huge chunk of the constructors championship points from Ferrari. Remember, C-Clay is not on the grid today, so let's see how he can fare. It's Mello the Mello, Malusi the Malusi, Sector 2. And he comes through there unscathed into this left-hander as Mello the Mello. He was going to have to hit that apex well, and he does. It's Sector 2, and C-Clay in the comments has given up on the constructors. Well, he's chilling, taking it easy, having secured the Drivers' Championship for a second consecutive season. Can't have them all, says C-Clay. Well, Mello the Mello will want it all on this back straight. It is Sector 3 for Malusi the Malusi. He will open up that rear wing as you see on your screen, and he sends that car screaming down that back straight. And I would have you know that in the meantime, Titus has popped up into P2 in Q1 here. He set that 132.428. Mello has yet to set his representative time. He invalidated the first attempt. Here he comes now through the final corner. He will cross the line. P7, 133.500. 133 and a half, basically, for Mello the Mello. Definitely some work to do. We know what he's capable of, so he's one to watch as this session goes along. Both AlphaTauris are attempting to better their times. This is D-Wax, currently sitting P6, 133.371. Let's see what he can do as you hop on board with him. Now he's also in the middle of the Drivers' Championship standing, so he's at no risk as far as relegation is concerned. D-Wax having a solid season in Tier 1 once again. Quite comfortable he is among these super talented runners. And of course currently sitting P6 as he takes this left-hander into this right-hand turn. It's a long one, of course, before he gets onto that back straight. Tepo Temba tops the time sheet. He's back in the pits, and D-Wax aims to answer with his own hot lap attempt, which will hopefully take him comfortably into the top 5. P6 currently for this man in the AlphaTauri. Into the heavy braking zone he comes. It's D-Wax pretty much chasing his teammate Selby Sango a couple of 100 meters ahead, and we'll get a sense of whether Selby can improve as he crosses the line. We are on board with D-Wax, however. Let's see what kind of a time it'll be. It's a 4/10 improvement, and yes, he secures his spot in the top 5 of Q1 so far. So he's one of 3 drivers currently out on track trying to improve, and it looks like this man, Mello the Mello, is on an in-lap. That red light is flashing on that Mercedes, and what would you know? It's a definite improvement for D-Wax there. Most of the grid is in the pits, with the exception of the likes of Romeo Mandla, who's on an outlap currently. We'll catch up with him when he crosses that start-finish line to hopefully begin a fast lap attempt. Now, Selby, we're on board with him. The mediums are... well, Fankang, I believe that's a, South African phrase for not exactly reliable. That's what Ronald Pikes is saying in the comments. In China, the mediums, perhaps not too reliable? Is that what Ron Pipes is saying? Well, Crash, if you start on a track like this on a pair of soft compound tires, how far can you go? Tell us about the degradation on this track. That few?
That's a no-go. Definitely no goal. I mean, on a one-stop stretch, it's just moving on. It's a very, very simple strategy.
Yeah.
One of the most complicated tracks because really four left 8 trucks to flying around with no great time behind them and stuff like that. So you don't even think about that.
All right. Crash was saying they can't hear you at the moment. I'm not sure if it's a volume thing or a party chat setting thing. We'll make sure that we sort that out. KK says Crash is coming across quite soft, so I think they can hear you, but the volume is a bit soft there. We'll sort that out, and we'll make sure that Crash is loud and clear. Romeo on his... Yeah, the volume was a bit soft there. Romeo on another attempt is unfortunately going significantly slower. So we'll see what happens by the time he gets to the end of this straight, or rather the end of this lap, and we'll see how he has fared. Meanwhile, Ban Kobe in the Mercedes has just begun another hot lap attempt. We'll catch up with him and see if he can improve on the time set by Titus and September. Well, Romeo comes back into the pit. Crash, mic check as Ban Kobe goes purple through Sector 2.
Mic check.
Let us know if Crash is definitely a little bit more audible as we just take a closer look on Ban Kobe, and you would have seen the snap that he had coming out of Sector 1. Tier 2 will be hot next season, says Streezy. Who exactly do you expect to be competing against, Streezy? Let us know. Seaclay says, I would have won this. From wherever Seaclay is. With all the confidence in the world, Seaclay, of course. We're watching Ban Kobe on the back straight. Let's see what he can do. Composer says, I will be leaving Streezy behind. He's leaving Higushiya, Streezy. Nothing hot there. Now, Ban Kobe onto the final corner. He will not take the final corner. He abandoned did Ban Kobe. Romeo, Man Ray, and 86er. Those are the three that the Streezy reckons are well and truly prospective Tier 2 drivers. Josh, aka Damnesia, is on a hot lap attempt through Sector 1. Let's hop on board with the McLaren driver, Romeo's teammate, of course. Romeo currently sits P10. Josh has yet to set a time. Begins the second sector. Does Josh? He's fairly careful through that corner. Josh was. He winds left, and of course he's gonna come to the right there. He's not too tight onto the curves there, and fairly unscathed here. It's a short straight here before a braking zone into that winding section onto the back straight. He is the quickest man through Sector 2 is Josh. He's going to look to give those top runners something to think about as we see a yellow flag in Sectors 2 and 3. But it is gone, so there could have been a driver just making way. It's Josh, Damnesia on the back straight. What can he do with 3 minutes to go? We have 15 drivers on track, so they all just need to set a time, and of course they should make it unscathed into Q2. Josh has just taken the penultimate corner, and he is misses the apex slightly on that final corner. He will cross the line, 132.924. It's good enough for P6.
Demo and Shenwu ran in a 131.9 yesterday. But then again, all of these drivers don't set the same times as yet because they all automatically go Q2.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't see like crazy times as yet. Surely I'm expecting better. But notably so, Jamo and Shane were in the 131 nines. Yeah.
Indeed, times in the 131s for Django and Shengu, who have been absolutely sensational in Tier 2. So we definitely can expect times in the 1 minute 31s. It's not inconceivable for this talented bunch. Meanwhile, Josh has gone quicker by a factor of about 2/10 on his second hot lap attempt. He's looking to go even better. In the comment section, Seaflay said Josh is a demon around here. Possibly one of his favorite tracks. Let's see how he fares now. He's on the back straight. There's not that much pressure. You just have to keep your car running. And you're basically through to Q2. Lungs has joined the session, and he's currently on an outlap with about 1 minute 20 seconds to go. Oh, Josh spins! Coming out of that heavy braking zone just before the final corner, and he will quite likely abandon this lap and head straight back into the pits. Yes, he does. In level, how will he fare in the Haas? He's on the final corner, the final straight. He improves by about 8/10, almost a second, up to P7. A solid placement in the top 10 for Nebo in the Haas. And of course, his teammate Titus is well and truly comfortable. He set a quick time and retreated to the pits. Now, who else is out? The 86er is here under pressure. Possible relegation for this man. What can he do? We're on board with the 86er. Looking to set his first representative time. 30 seconds in his qualifying session to go. Round pipe records. Josh saw that long rice grass needs cutting. Yeah, we've seen a couple of lawn mowing effects throughout the season. The 86er has a bit of a snap. In the first sector, how many tenths will that cost him? He's under pressure, definitely, but he just needs to set a representative time, and then, he's well and truly comfortably through to Q2. The 86er GT Galiletsan. If you have not crossed the line, well, that's it, as far as this qualifying session is concerned. And I would have you know that it looks like Lungs did not make it to the start-finish line in time to begin his hot lap attempt. So, is it possible to... Oh, there's a bit of an echo here. Apologies for that. Is it echoing also for you, Crash? We do apologize for that echo. We'll look into it and hopefully sort it out just before we get running for Q2.
Is your TV volume up?
It's feedback. No, it's not. When I'm connected to these headphones, my TV volume is basically... Oh, the 86er! Without setting a time yet, has an almighty spin! But, well, he's pretty much the only driver running. Let's see how he can do. He crosses the line. Pretty much unscathed. Is your TV on that side? All of my devices are pretty much off this side.
I don't know. Always well and dandy on my side. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah, because you definitely aren't echoing, but I don't know why when I speak there's a bit of an echo. So I'm just gonna leave the commentary.
So like he's spinning into tier 2. Man.
Seppo Temba tops the times, 132.110 from Titus, who was about 3/10 or so behind. Van Kobe rounds up your top 3 in Q1. Kaboza 4th, D-Wax 5th, Josh, aka Damnesia, P6 from D-Wax in 5th, and Lebo 7th, Tindo 8th, Mellow the Mellow 9th, Selby 10th, and then we have Man Ray Romeo, the 86er, and Lungs in the bottom of these standings. But I would have you know that Lungs could not set a time. Neither did Loveness, interestingly. He's here in the paddock, but he didn't set a time.
Didn't even go out. He was just saving his tires.
Yeah. Before I come back for Q2, I'm just going to leave this commentary chat and then come back and see if it's good, Crash.
No problem.
We're seconds away from Q2! Oh man, I can still hear the echo here. Right, what I'm gonna do is try and exit the commentary and see if you can still hear. I'm just gonna do a quick mic check. Well, I'm out the commentary chat, but I'm still in the session. This is a mic check. Please let me know if you can hear me right now. I'm not in the commentary party chat, but I'm still in the session. Let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know. No more echo. Well, there seems to be something wrong with the commentary chat. Well, would you look at that procession of cars? Thank you very much. I'll just chat to Crash and see if that can be sorted out. Please give me a couple of seconds while I sort out the audio issues with my co-commentator Crash before we get underway. Well, just want to make sure that I am on board with the driver most likely to begin their hot lap attempt first, and I would have you know that it is this man, Brakeaway, in the Mercedes. Well, he's currently on the out lap. Am I chasing? Oh, no, I'm chasing the wrong Mercedes. I should be watching this man. Now, most of the grid, as you can see, has selected to begin this race with a set of medium compound tires. That is, if their fastest lap in Q2 can be set on this compound. They will hope that their medium tire runs will be decent enough, of course, to set a super competitive time. It's Malusi, Mercedes, the Mercedes. If you've just joined us, it's about 12 minutes left of Q2 out here in China. Now, 15 drivers on the grid, 5 will get knocked out before we move on to Q3 in the top 10 shootout. The battle for pole. C-Clay in the comments section cheers for Mello the Mello, as well as presumably Man Ray in that Ferrari. Now, he has gone quickest through Sector 2, his Malusi the Malusi. What can he do now as he winds on this right-hander towards the back straight, sending that jet black Mercedes scorching and screaming down the back straight. Caboza in the Red Bull crashes out. He DNFs. It looks like that Red Bull has crashed out just before the finish line. If you look at that yellow highlighted section, just before that checkered flag marker on the bottom right of your screen, Caboza has crashed out. He is out of this session, but Mello the Mello, what can you do? He will cross the line with a 133.176 on those medium compound tires. A hell of an effort for the Mercedes driver. I would have you know that Tindo is just about to cross the line too. It'll be 134.392, putting him in P2 here in China. An absolutely interesting difference between these two. It's about 1.2 seconds, the difference between the Mercedes and this Alfa Romeo. But Romeo, on a pair of softs, has set a 133.968, and Seppo Temba has just got into P2 on those medium compound tires. And Titus is the first driver today to set a time in the 1 minute 31. It's a 131.894 for the Haas driver. Crosses the line and really sets an absolutely insane gauntlet here for Haas F1. An absolutely stunning time. There's an Alfa Romeo D-Wax which has just crossed the line. Good enough for P5. It's a 134.366. Brakeaway and the other Mercedes, what can he do now? Of course, we saw how he had to abandon a previous attempt out in Q1, but he will come through this long, winding section before he completes his lap. He'll cross the line with a 133.078, a time good enough for P2. Man, Titus has put some daylight between himself and most of this grid. Now, I want to see exactly who is about to finish their lap. It is the 86er who had that huge incident, remember, towards the end of a Q1 spinning on this section of the track. He's moving quite slowly, he's the 86er. We're quite likely about to watch him attempt, of course, to have another stab at it, another go at it. How will he fare in the Williams? Well, he winds his way through the first sector unscathed. Titus is at it again, says Ronald Pipes. Ronald McPipes. Oh, look at that. The 86er going wide. He's really not comfortable here. He hasn't been comfortable through Q1, and he is under pressure to make it into the top 10 shootout. The 86er, what can you do here? You know what needs to be done. You need to yank your way out of that bottom three and make sure that you can secure your spot at least in the playoffs. There are so few opportunities for you to gain points and secure your spot comfortably in this top tier. He's going to pass the slow-moving McLaren of Josh, aka Damnesia, here as he comes into the braking zone before winding right onto that back straight. It is the 86er GT Galilitsang. Hopes not to lose his rear end. He has a little bit of a snap there and corrects the steering onto the back straight and sends it absolutely hurtling, screaming down the back straight. And we will see exactly how adventurous he'll be with his braking. He hits the brakes at about the 100-meter mark. If he's doing this now, Q3, it's curtains for everyone, says Ron Pipes. Well, let's see how the 86er fares. He's about to take the final corner. It's a 131, 32, 33, crosses the line with a 134.362 P8. Man, he's under pressure, What about Josh? Damnesia. Well, he's just begun on the first sector. Has yet to set a representative time in the McLaren. Let's hop on board. It's Josh, aka Damnesia. Seaclay reckons that this man, Josh, is a demon around China. That this track would presumably be one of his favorites. 7.5 minutes to go for Josh in the McLaren. Mello is sleepy, says Ron Pipes. Mello's time is good enough only for P3 currently. It's a 133.176 for Malusi de Malusi. We'll see what he can do when we get to P3. Now, those top five are fairly comfortable with the times that they've set. They are going to just chill in the pit lane. And, well, their times, or rather, their spots in Q3 not yet under threat. What can Josh do here? He's opted for a set of soft compound tires, and as a result, he has gone quickest through Sector 2. He winds on this final winding right-hander, and he's onto the back straight cleanly. He keeps that steering absolutely locked, dead on, straight on, and he opens up that rear wing, sends that car hurtling towards this heavy braking zone here, the penultimate corner, before he looks and thinks about nailing that final apex onto that start-finish straight. And he does. Oh, has a spin, loses the rear, and crashes into the wall. Josh, a.k.a. Damnesia, hits the wall on the start-finish straight and absolutely ruins his time. He'll have to drive all the way around and fit on a brand new wing and go all again. It's good enough. It's P14. Did you look at that? TT as well, to Seaclay. Josh, aka Damnesia, lost it on the final portion of the track. A lot of work for him to do. He's going to have to send that car all the way around. Lungs in the Alpine, a team that's had an absolutely fantastic season. They've worked so well in tandem. Have Lungs and Seppo Temba. He's currently 2/10 quicker than his previous best, which is not even good enough for the top 10 as things stand. It's a medium compound of tires for Lungs. He will be hoping, praying, crossing his fingers that more drivers can have incidents just like Josh did. And let's see how Lungs can fare here. He's making his way through Sector 2. Josh is cutting the grass again. Streezy says people have been spinning there, and I don't understand how. Streezy, of course, brimming with confidence, having had a fantastic podium finish out here. There's a yellow flag all over the track. Hopefully Lungs won't be too bothered or affected by that. He's on the start-finish straight. That red light for fuel is flashing. And Seaclay says Lebo and D-Max did too many laps, considering that he will be starting with that they will be starting with those. Now, here comes Lungs in to the penultimate corner, nails that apex with a plum, and it is a case of slow and fast out of that penultimate corner. Hits the apex on the final corner, sends it, opens up that rear wing, and he will cross the line almost a second and a half quicker. It's only P10, definitely still at risk, and that red light, that fuel light, is flashing. Will Lungs have enough time to actually get back into the pits here and refuel? 4 minutes to go. I doubt that Lungs will have enough time. He's definitely under threat. He could be kicked out of Q2 here. Currently, P10 is Lungs. Definitely under an insane amount of pressure to make it out of this qualifying session. Seaclay is quite surprised, was expecting this man to be in the top 4, at least out here in Q2. And, well, it's a nightmare scenario for Lungs. But how will his teammate, Josh, aka Damnesia, fare? Time will tell. Meanwhile, I would have you know that no, DWAX is definitely just invalidated, and Crash has just had load shedding. Hopefully that power unit definitely can kick back in, Crash, and we'll get you back in this session here. Lungs has crashed out. Sorry, I'm just glitching and jumping back and forth here. Let's see how Romeo Mandla fares. He is one of the, it looks like about 6 or so 7 drivers who have opted to run in with a set of soft compound tires, which will not last long on this track. As we heard Crash mention earlier, it is definitely a riskier strategy, considering you will have to come into the pits way sooner than the bulk of the grid, which would be running medium compound tires when this race starts. Of course, judging by of course, the tires in Q2. Now, Romeo is attempting to improve, but unfortunately for him, he's gone about a tenth slower than his previous best time, which has placed him in P7. It's a fresh set of soft compound tires for Romeo. He's on the back straight now, and he needs to gain so much more time if he's to improve on that P7 and secure his spot in Q3. But he's let off. Yeah, look at that. He's eased off on the throttle. Looks like Romeo is abandoning this hot lap attempt. Well, that's an interesting choice. Romeo perhaps not happy with the amount of time that he lost there. He's definitely eased up on the throttle, but he figured, well, I'm just going to finish this lap anyway. And of course, it is significantly slower. He could not improve. The 86er is out. Currently, as things stand, he is out of Q2. Now, this is Tindo attempting to improve his fortunes and secure his spot in Q3. I would have you know he's got about 7/10 quicker than his previous time, and he's the quickest man through Sector 2. I will hop on with Josh, who's running some way behind Tindo, Seaclay, so I'll just want to hop on board with the Alfa Romeo runner and see how he can handle the pressure. As things stand, Romeo is out. His best time was only good enough for P13. He wants to secure his spot in the top 10 shootout. But, of course, if he can't do that, then he would be running soft compound tires at the start of the race. He will cross the line a second quicker than his previous best time. It's good enough for P5. Now, let's see how Josh, aka Damnesia, is faring. I would have you know that as of Sector 1, he's going about 2/100ths of a second slower. Josh, aka Damnesia here, is under pressure as well. Rock bottom of the Q2 standings, which are currently led by Titus and Loveness on those soft compound tires. Loveness has steady time to 132.749 for the Williams driver, the 86ers teammate. As things stand, he could be the only Williams driver in the top 10. But we're currently on board with Josh, who was under immense pressure to get this corner right. Slow-moving Man Ray makes way for Josh, aka Damnesia, who hits that apex cleanly. Time has run out. If you had not taken the checkered flag before the 0-0 mark of the timesheets, Josh goes 9 seconds quicker to place his car P2, 132.655. for the McLaren driver. An absolutely sensational effort as Tindo crashes out at the tail end of this qualifying session. It's a slow-moving Selby who has pretty much given up on his prospects of making it through to Q3. Well, 86er, what can you do? Here into the final corner. You under pressure. You need to be in the top 10 shootout. 86er, he crosses the line and he secures his spot comfortably in P4. A 132.856 for the Williams driver. Well, those are your drivers in the top 10 shootout. It's Titus who tops the timesheets with a 131.894 from Damnesia and Loveness in P2 and 3. The 86er is 4th, Bankobi 5th, Malusi the Malusi in 6th. Tindo is in the top 10 shootout. P7, Tepo Temba, D-Wax, and Romeo round off your top 10 shootout. And Nebo, Manray, Selby Sango, Lungs, and Kaboza have been knocked out of Q2. It's the top 10 shootout in China! Coming up in just a couple of minutes. Well, we will get a sense of whether or not it is raining Seaplay in a second or two. 86er, let's go, says Streezy. And let's see how they fare now. Titus, notably, is the only driver in the 1 minute 31s. How many more drivers do you expect to set times in that benchmark? Well, let us know. Selby is basically just going to retire his car into the pit. And yes, see Clay, it is raining. The drops are starting to fall. Is it going to be a wet Q3? Well, that will make things interesting. That would make things absolutely interesting indeed. Ha! As the stewards disable DRS towards the end of Q3 here. Kid K says, last season, Titus and Seaclay went side by side. They both spun before the finish line, losing positions. It was raining. It was a dramatic race out here in China last time out. 86er, let's go, says Streezy, cheering him on. And Lebo and D-Wax, well, that was an earlier comment. Welcome, if you've just joined us. This is Tier 1 of Breakaway League Racing. We're out at the Shanghai International Circuit. And in a matter of seconds, it will be Q3. Titus tops the timesheets. He's the quickest driver by quite some margin. 7.5 tenths from Josh, a.k.a. Damnesia, who leads from Loveness in P3. That's your top 10, folks. We'll be underway in China in less than 30 seconds. "17 seconds to go. Ah! Q3, will it be raining? Caesarbona, Caesarbona. It's raining, says Kid Kate. Yep, we will get a sense of what the... Yep, it is definitely pouring out here in China. 12 minutes for this grid to make their mark in the battle for pole position. Intermediate tire conditions, not full yet, full wet tire compounds as yet. Looks like a Red Bull will be making its way out, and it is the, looks like a Seppo Temba, that is, who has commandeered the Red Bull for today. Let's see how he can fare. Let us know your predictions for P1, P2, P3. Josh is here, Seaclay. Do you reckon Josh, in these conditions, can secure pole position? Well, Romeo will have something to say about that, as will Bankobi, Tindo, D-Wax, 86er, Titus, and Loveness. Titus is most likely to be on pole, says Inati. Inati himself, of course, is no stranger to running at the front of a grid. He's had a fantastic season, has Inati out in Tier 2, and you can catch Inati on Mondays and Wednesdays as the breakaway season hurtles towards a crescendo. Now, the first driver out on track is the Haas of Titus Malima. Titus Malima, former champion. We've seen his championship pedigree in recent weeks. Loveness. C-Clay reckons Loveness is definitely one to look out for here, and will hop on board with the Williams driver when he eventually comes out of the pits. Now, Loveness likes to bide his time and come out a little bit later than most drivers as far as qualifying is concerned. But as we saw in Q2, when he does come out, he lays it down and brings the heat. And we'll see exactly if that is the case out here in China as well. We are watching former champion Titus. We've seen what he could do. We've seen his pedigree in recent weeks. And what can he do out here at the Shanghai International Circuit? Welcome if you just joined us. We have about 9 minutes, 45 seconds to go in Q3. It's the battle for pole position in Shanghai. And we're out here with Loveness. All right, let's hop on board with the Haas runner. Kaboza has left the session. I hope he can come back here. Loveness is the rain doctor, says Mfundo out in the comment section. Mfundo, we definitely miss you racing out here. Hopefully we can see you or one of the Aston Martins, that being Asbuda. Oh, Titus has a bit of a moment there in the Sector 1 on that left-hander. Oh, man, how much precious time will that cost him? And how much fuel does Titus have on board to make sure that he can capitalize on this running in Q3? Tindo has crashed out. Tindo, towards the end of his outlap, crashes his car on the start-finish straight. Tindo is out in Sector 3, crashes his car before beginning his hot lap in earnest. Let's hop back on board with Titus to see how he can recover from that snap that he had a little bit earlier. Of course, we saw him lose a little bit of a traction over there, and let's see how he fares now through Sector 3. It's the long, winding right-hander. Conditions are treacherous. The rear end slipping and sliding there for Titus as he corrects that car and sets those wheels straight and hurtling down the start-finish straight. He is followed closely behind by Seppo Temba, who might just be in line for topping the timesheet courtesy of that little snap that Titus had a little bit earlier. Now, it's not clear whether Titus will go for another run and make it a double hot lap attempt. Ooh, it's a late gear switch there. How many tenths will that lose Titus? Look how close Seppo Temba's running behind him now. It is Titus who will cross the line with a 144.3. Seppo Temba, meanwhile, is right behind him, and it's a one. Ooh, it looks like Seppo Temba could not set a representative time there, so we'll catch up with him. Meanwhile, Ben Kobe sets a 144.6 as the time start trickling in. The 86er goes third quickest, 145.2. And there's a Mercedes, it's Mello the Mello, who will cross the line now with a 145.1. Which McLaren is on the verge of crossing the line? Well, Romeo has invalidated. I would have you know that Josh, a.k.a. Damnesia, betters Titus by a factor of almost 2 whole tenths. It's Josh, a.k.a. Damnesia, with a 1 minute 44.194. The Alpha Tauri of D-Wax crosses the line in P6 currently, so we'll catch up with him and see how he fares. Now, Titus seems to be on an attempt to improve his time. We'll see exactly how he fares, because we have yet to spend significant time on board the Red Bull today, but he is an Alpine driver. It's Seppo Temba making his way through Sector 3, and just as he will cross the line, we'll get a sense of whether or not Titus can improve on the time that Damnesia had set. Now, it's Seppo Temba hurtling on the back straight. He is absolutely sending it, punching, screaming down the straight, charging towards that heavy braking zone. He is tailed by a Mercedes in Seppo Temba. What can he do on this penultimate apex? Little bit wide, goes there, a little bit wide, loses some time as Titus, a little bit further ahead, is about to cross the line. We'll get a sense of whether or not Titus will be improving, and the answer is yes. It's a 143.497 for Titus. What can Seppo Temba do? Well, it's good enough for P3. It's a 144.4. Titus, once again, screams down the start-finish straight, and Bad Kobe, I would have you know, has improved his own time by a factor of a second. The longer this qualifying session goes, the times are trickling down. The lap times are trickling, falling down. There's a, well, it looks like I wanted to see, is that an Alpha Tauri? Yes, it's the AlphaTauri of DWAX, which is on the verge of finishing this hot lap attempt. What can he do? Currently P7 is DWAX. Oh, it's a late shift there coming out of the final corner. He improves, does DWAX, by about 6/10, but it's only good enough for P5. The McLaren of Romeo gazumps him into P5 with a 144.705. Now, Loveness, he's been called the Rain Doctor by some, but right now he's the Red Doctor. It's red. It's red. It's an invalidation. He has invalidated out here in Shanghai. He will have to go again, Will Loveness. I hope for his sake that he had enough fuel on board. Titus Maluma is relentless. That red light is flashing as far as his fuel supply is concerned. He's gone about 2 1,000ths of a second slower, has Loveness, on this hot lap attempt. So I'm not sure if he's definitely aiming to improve on his time. But the way that he's standing down with back straight, the answer could be a definite yes. He's gone about quicker from Ban Kobe by a factor of almost of about 1/10 or so. No, he's definitely coming back in. Meanwhile, Ban Kobe, red light also flashing, is hurtling down towards the final corner. Nope, he's also coming back. Temple Temba, where are you? I would assume he's also coming back into the pit lane. The answer is yes. Loveness, 86er, actually, let's catch up with him and see what he can do. He's currently only good enough for P8, he's the 86er, but he will cross the line a second slower, so he will have definitely some work to do. Loveness invalidated again! Oh, Loveness hasn't even set a time out here, and DWAX is out! DWAX has crashed! The AlphaTauri driver, having improved to P6, has crashed out of qualifying here, and he will hope that he can hang on to that P6 spot towards the end of this qualifying session. Loveness has opted to come back, presumably, possibly, to refuel. And meanwhile, I just want to see one of the McLarens. Nope, he's definitely not on a hot lap attempt. What about Josh, aka Damnesia? No, it's an out lap. So instead, I will watch this man, 86er, under pressure, making his way now through the second sector. His fuel light doesn't flash him that much. He goes so wide there, goes off track a little bit, and invalidates. 86er, only good enough for P8 currently. He will have to go all the way around again. Less than 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Do you have enough time, 86er? Can you redeem yourself and place that car further up, higher on this grid? Well, you got your work cut out, 86er. And with about 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go, Loveness has to get out of the pits here and set a time. Now, let's see Josh on his, presumably what will be his final run, depending on how much fuel he has on board. He is about to pass the slow-moving Loveness, who is currently out on an outlap. Loveness makes way for Josh. Of course, grip is at an absolute premium here. Those tires, absolutely crucial that they get enough temperature in them to maintain some semblance of grip. And as Josh completes Sector 1, he's definitely gone slower than his previous best, which has placed him on the second row. He's definitely got his work cut out for him. Titus is on an outlap, as is Tefo Temba. And Malusi the Malusi is currently on an outlap, a couple of cars behind Josh, as you can see on your screen down there. And it looks like Ban Kobe is also making his way out. And Ban Kobe will also be hoping to set a quick time. Josh has improved by about 1/10.5 on his time, and he's the quickest man through through Sector 2. Let's see now as he winds onto that back straight what kind of a representative time he can set. It's Josh, aka Damnesia, on the back straight, hurtling down towards that heavy braking zone, under pressure to improve on his P3 spot. But Ban Kobe and Titus are going to have something to say about that when they begin their own hot lap attempts. It is Josh, closely followed by the Mercedes of Mello the Mello, who will catch up with, has a bit of a snap there, does Josh. He will cross the line in P2. He improves, does Josh. But what about Mello the Mello? He's 5 cents quicker, is Mello. And he crosses the line about a second quicker than his previous best time. He nudges himself up to P4. But it looks like he might have enough fuel on board, Mello, to go again, to go for another hot lap attempt and another attempt to improve. Meanwhile, the 86er has been languishing in P8 for most of this qualifying session, and with about 25 seconds to go, he crosses the line, improves by about 4/10 to put his car in P7. So definitely a fairly decent effort as Tindo becomes, Tindo had crashed earlier. Tindo and DWAX had crashed. So yeah, it was just my screen updating there a little bit. Now, Loveness, he's been called the rain doctor by some. He needs to put something together here. He has crossed the line in time to be able to be on this final hot lap attempt. He chases the Mercedes of Van Kobe a couple of meters ahead of him. And we could see exactly if Van Kobe can improve on that time, that scorching time that Titus had set, that 143.497. It is Loveness, the so-called Raidmaster, on the back straight. In front of him is presumably Van Kobe. And let's see how he fares now. Most of the grid have yet to take the checker flag once again. And meanwhile, Tempo is about to cross the line. It is P5. That is where he will be starting unless, of course, these guys can have something to do about it. Josh is out. He might have crashed. He might have retired his car. But he's out of the session so far. Loveness will cross the line in P6. It's a 144.568. Mello has taken the checkered flag. He could not improve that much. Van Kobe is definitely on a slow in lap here, it looks like. He's definitely not sending it as things stand. Meanwhile, the 86er has improved by about a hundredth of a second. He will cross the line and improve to P7. Well, from P8 to P7, he was languishing there and thereabouts. But not a bad effort from GT Galiletsan, the 86er. And as things stand, it will be Titus starting in pole position from Damnesia in P2. Van Kobe will start in third, Mello the Mello in P4. Then we have Tempo Tempo 5th, Loveness 6th, the 86er 7th, Romeo 8th, DWAX 9th, and Tindo will start in P10. Let's go! Titus needs Zotail on the controller, and me here. That's what Cicla is saying. Van Kobe is P3, as Cicla was marking earlier in the comments. He will start in the second row alongside his teammate, Mello the Malusi. Seppo Temba, solid day for him, P5. Loveness will start in 6th. We have less than 10 seconds to go before this race begins. What will the weather be like by the time we begin? I cannot wait. If it's another wet race, then we can expect all-out drama out here at the Shanghai International Circuit. The drivers putting the final touches on those machines. Final touches in the sense of making sure that the drivers are well and truly comfortable, of course. No setup changes after qualifying. And we'll get a sense of how exactly they will begin this race. It's dry in China! Welcome to Shanghai. If you've just joined us, you're on the verge of beginning another race. It's top-tier Breakaway League racing at the Shanghai International Circuit. It is race number 22. Welcome to China. Less than half a minute to go, and we are underway. It is Titus in pole position from Josh, a.k.a. Damnesia. Ha! Ziyabuya, it's coming back. Kushubile, it's going down. Just a few seconds to go. It's a movie. Four lights, 5 lights, and they are out. We are racing in China. It is Titus and Josh on the front row. We know what kind of starts Van Kobe can have, and he tucks in behind the McLaren. Titus manages to hang on to the lead. It is Van Kobe and the Lucy, right alongside each other as far as grid places are concerned. Romeo is in P5. What a start for him. Loveness is 6th. Tempo Temba has fallen. He's dropped a couple of places. He's all the way down in P7 currently. Caboza has had a nightmare start, all the way in P16 for the Red Bull driver. But Josh, aka Damnesia, is chasing down the Haas of Titus. Let's get you all the information that you need currently. Position change one of the biggest people to fall down has been Tempo. He's lost about 3 places. Romeo, what a start from him. He's gained 3 places. He's the biggest mover out here in China. And look at that. That gap is already a second, 1.2 seconds before the end of the first lap. It is Titus leading from Josh, and it is an entire train of cars, of course, in this first lap of 28 on this most challenging Shanghai International Circuit. What can Brakeaway do in his battle against Josh? His teammate, Mello the Mello, is about half a second behind him. And Romeo, having gained all those places, is under an insane amount of pressure from Loveness. And let's catch up with them. We're going to see whether or not Loveness will tuck in behind this McLaren and send it side by side. He thinks about it, but he manages to keep that car behind. Meanwhile, Tempo is on a bit of a recovery drive, having lost a couple of places here. He is sandwiched between Loveness and the 86er. But the 86er and Tempo having a titanic scruff over here. And Tempo goes a little bit wide. He goes off track. Does the man currently in the Red Bull. And Loveness, who goes on the inside of the McLaren, he will have the inside line, but Romeo said no! Absolutely sent it screaming onto the slower right-hander. Romeo holding his own, having gained so many places, he will not give it up that easily. Loveness has the fight of his life in his hands to take over that P5 spot. It's going to be an epic battle here. Let's see this tussle. It looks like these two Mercedes are running pretty much fair and square, keeping things keeping things fairly even Stevens here. Remember, Titus and Damnesia have started this race on a pair of soft compound tires. They will be among the first to pit. And will these medium running tire runners have something to say as far as the potential race win is concerned? Well, it's advantage to them as far as tire strategy is concerned. It's a challenging circuit. No safety car so far. Seppo Temba is having a battle with the 86er. He is on the verge of a potential overtake here as the 86er brings that car in. Titus has checked out. Titus have kicked in. It is Tempo Temba going side by side with the 86er on the back straight. He is absolutely punching that ERS. It's already about 50%, and he gets that overtake done. No, he doesn't. The 86er puts a nose ahead there. Will they make contact? Oh, almost. The 86er corrects and straightens that car towards the final corner as Titus sets the quickest time. It is the 86er being absolutely hounded by Seppo Temba, the Alpine driver, having commandeered the Red Bull here today. It is a little bit of a DRS train between Loveness, or rather the 86er, Seppo Temba, and Tindo, who's looking to take a bite into that Red Bull. It is Tindo with the inside line. Will they make contact? Seppo Temba will have the inside into the left-hander, so he has to concede. Does Tindo? He thought about it, but was not quite close enough, not quite good enough to get that overtake done. Let's hop on board now with the Alfa Romeo driver currently sitting in P9. He crashed out, of course, in that final qualifying session to Tindo. So it's redemption, possible redemption here for Tindo if we can get these early overtakes done. This is a track with high tire degradation. So if Tindo cannot get this move done, he will find himself slipping and sliding and slipping all the way down this grid. Quite a number of drivers have opted to begin this race on a set of hard compound tires. So as this race goes along, you can expect them to have something to say as far as possibly taking the lead of this race is even concerned. I'm talking about Enlebo back in P10, as well as the likes of Caboza. It is Tindo and Tempo. Tindo gets the inside line on and Nebo here. It's an absolutely titanic battle. I was just paying attention to some other drivers while this epic titanic battle is going on. It is Tindo looking to have something to say on the inside of Seppo Temba, and he will have that move done. He forces Seppo Temba. Why? Debo Croc needs to get out of this lobby. Not sure why he's racing. Tindo has got that move done. Seppo Temba has been dispatched with. And of course, Seppo Temba will have the last lap a little bit later since he's running that medium compound tires. Meanwhile, up in P3, it is Brakeaway looking to finally get this move done on Josh, aka Damnesia, who's fallen to about 2.5 seconds behind Titus on those soft compound tires. So Titus is still running nice and steady, and those tires have yet to fall back. Sbuda, YSD there, no real Aston Martin on track tonight. Yeah, not sure why Debo Croc is out here in Tier 1. An aspirational man as Debo Croc, hoping to sneak in to Tier 1, but he is definitely not a contender as far as this championship is concerned. These drivers taking the curve a little bit heavily as they're fighting for track position. It's the battle for P2. Mello de Mello has opted to tuck in nicely behind his teammate Bankobi as the 86er crashes out. The 86er under so much pressure for points has crashed out in lap 4 of 28, and it is the savior of the safety car for the soft tire runners, whose tires were definitely going to be screaming and complaining at this point. Titus will sigh and breathe. He will sigh. He will breathe a sigh of relief. Will Titus and Damnesia and Mandla and Loveness and Tyndall, the soft tire runners. 86 are under so much pressure for points. Loses his car in dry conditions, lap 4 of 28. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these top runners slap on a set of hard compound tires here. We know what Hamadera can do. And yes, it is those white stripped hard compound tires for Titus, as well as for, well, interestingly, Josh, aka Damnesia, has opted for a set of medium compound tires. So it's a possible two-stop strategy here. It's a possible two-stop strategies here. C-Clay says, I'd go medium soft. The hard tires here are soft. Josh is possibly committing to a two-stop strategy here in lap 5 of 28. I do not see, well, even though these medium tires are new, well, those might they might struggle towards the end there. Sbuda says, advantage soft runners with this safety car. Well, Titus will be smiling from ear to ear. He led the race at the beginning on those soft compound tires. Perhaps it was all on purpose. Perhaps this is the exact scenario that Titus and the strategist out at Haas had hoped for. The thing is, grid position, notes C-Clay. But perhaps this scenario is exactly the one that the Haas team had hoped for. Start on soft tires, try and get some sort of an early track advantage, and then hope for an early safety car, and then, decide your tire strategy from there. Behind the safety car now, courtesy of those early pits, it is Van Kobe in the Mercedes leading from his teammate, Mello the Mello, Malusi the Malusi, and Levo finds himself in P3 currently, but he's already racked up a time penalty. Seppo Temba is currently running in P4, the Alpine driver who is commandeered a Red Bull today. His teammate Lungs, who began on a pair of soft, of hard compound tires, finds himself in P5. Track position gained for Lungs. Selby Sango opted to begin on mediums. He starts in P6. Kaboza, whose teammate Zotal is nowhere to be seen today, he's in P7 today. And Titus, having just pitted, is in P8. Speaking of Zotal, let's go Kabizi, he says. And cheering on his teammate with those royal blue pom-poms is Zotal in the comment section. Josh, aka Damnesia, is starting this race in P9 from Romeo Massingo in P10. Loveness has some work to do out in P11, as does Tindo in 12th spot. From Man Ray, C-Clay's teammate, the sole running Ferrari today. Unfortunately for him, he's racked up a time penalty. And, well, Debo Croc needs to get out of here. Get out of here, man! Not sure what the heck he's doing out here. And D-Wax is currently in P15 out in the AlphaTauri. Brand new set of hard compound tires. It's lap 6 of 28. And we will soon get back to racing. Esbuda in the comments was saying, yes, Neba has a penalty. Unfamiliar scenes. C-Clay says the faster Merc should be in front and should pull the other one with DRS. It's the ghost of Debo Croc. Aha, there we go. The safety car is in this lap. And let's see what Ban Kobe can do here at the race restart. He's under a significant amount of pressure to hang on to this lead. from his teammate Mello the Mello, who will no doubt back him up and keep that Haas of Endeavor at bay. And Fundo says, I'm sure it's hailing stones in London. Speaking, of course, about this man, and Levo in the Haas, sitting comfortably in P3, but will have to contend with that time penalty. And let's see exactly what Van Kobe's strategy is for backing these cars up, and where exactly he will choose to send it. We saw the likes of Bonds capitalize on the race restart after a safety car. That was out in Tier 2. We saw King Streethy have a fantastic race and recover after the safety car, which has gone in, and Ban Kobe leads from Mello the Mello. But the battle, of course, as far as constructors and different teams are concerned, is between this man and Levo. And Mello the Mello. Mello is trying to protect his teammate and, of course, hang on to the DRS clutches in a couple of laps. But, and Levo, what can you do? He's trying to keep abreast of that Mercedes, while himself under pressure for Tepo Temba, just one car behind. The gap between these guys averaging at about half a second. Debo Crack is a Tier 3 driver, but he is currently ghosted, Escalo. He is not racing. It is just the ghost of his car currently. He joined the wrong lobby. And Levo chasing that Mercedes pair, but he's fallen behind. He's now 9/10 behind the two Mercedes pair, who are leading this race in lap 7 of 28. These cars are bunched up. We will see battles pretty much all throughout this grid. And as I say that, it is Lungs hunting down his teammate, or perhaps just hoping to remain within the DRS clutches. Not sure whether or not team orders will come into play here. Lungs has opted to save some weight on this car, and he's driving without a helmet. He's probably, Lungs, what are you doing? He slips and slides off. Those hard tires are ice cold. 6-lap-old hard tires. He slips in Sector 3, does Lungs, and slides all the way down. And what could have been a fantastic team effort for the Alpines has gone to waste. Josh, aka Damnesia, on medium tires, goes on the inside, or rather on the outside of Titus, and gets that overtake done. Josh is up to P6. And remember, these two had pitted. It's a potential net race lead here, because these two were the soft tire runners. They were the race leaders. Josh, aka Damnesia, dispatches of Titus on those cold tires. Meanwhile, it is a titanic battle. Mello the Mello, what's happened to him? He's had a huge moment. He slips and slides all the way down to P11. He loses it in that first sector. And now Ban Kobe is all alone trying to defend from the hat of Enlevo, who himself is being chased by Tepo Temba. It's battles all throughout this grid here, and Ban Kobe will have to keep it together. He will be all alone out at the lead of this race. He will have no backup. But it is the Haas of Enebo, which is about 2 seconds now. So he's trying to keep abreast of these leaders, has Enebo. But he's absolutely struggled, losing so much ground, even despite that huge issue that Mello the Mello has just had. These hard tire runners, of course, are definitely having issues as far as tire warm-up is concerned, and they're being taken advantage of, as we see Tepo Temba have a little bit of a moment there, coming out on to that back straight. What can he do now? On to this back straight. He has about 70% worth of battery power, does Tepo Temba. Meanwhile, someone who seems to be inching even closer and closer to the person they're chasing is Josh, aka Damnesia, who now tails the 7-lap-old medium tire running Selby Sango in the Alpha Tauri. Mello the Mello, Malusi the Malusi having another moment as these drivers cross the line to begin lap 9. The DRS will be enabled. Josh, aka Damnesia, is one of the drivers having a titanic clash and battle with the P4 running Selby Sango here. He's making his way now through the first sector. He takes a peek on the inside. Not enough space. Definitely not enough space, and not close enough, not nearly close enough here. And we'll see exactly how he fares against Selby, who weaves to the left and the right. Not sure whether he's still suffering with tire warm-up as Selby. Josh is pulling Titus. Oh yeah, Josh got that move done. Josh got that move done on Titus Charlie 3 Stacks, aka Charlie 3000 out in Houston. Our Tier 3 driver, soon to be Tier 2 with Charlie 3 Stacks. Let's go Ban Kobe, says Zotal. There's Nebo has absolutely lost it. in his battle, all these drivers who are aiming to capitalize on the race lead have absolutely lost it, and they've given Ban Kobe so much space to breathe in the race lead. Ban Kobe was being chased by Enlebo, but now has about 4 seconds of breathing room between himself and Teppo Temba, who now chases him by a factor of about 3.7 seconds. Let's catch up with Josh, aka Damnesia, who takes a peek on the outside of Selby Sango on the back straight. It's a heavy DRS zone. Josh has opted not to use his battery, but he's absolutely sent it down the inside. He makes contact with Selby Sango and nudges him down the outside. He gets a little bit of a moment, and he pushes himself up into P3, back into the podium places. It is Josh, aka Damnesia, with an insane drive, fighting, snapping, clawing his way up the grid. Meanwhile, Titus, whose tires have been warming up slowly, gradually, is finding himself now chasing up to the back of Selby Sango. Meanwhile, the Josh fight back continues. He's now side by side with Teppo Temba, and it looks like he's going to get a cleaner exit. He's up into P2 as Josh. He is absolutely taking all these victims as Teppo Temba looks to fight back. He's currently in P3 in this second sector, the right-hander. Josh, aka Damnesia, on those 4-lap old medium tires, has absolutely been sending it. Zotal usibisa ingani yabantu bukamanji level P9. Perhaps they're saying Zotal is jinxing Enlebo. Zotal's teammate, I would have you know, has fought his way up to P9 on those 9-lap old hard tires. Josh is making moves indeed. It is an absolutely insane drive from Josh, aka Damnesia, who will now hope to eat into that 4-second gap between P2 and P1. Josh is such a bull, says Crash in the comment section. 1,000%. It's been an insane drive from the McLaren driver, and his teammate Romeo is having an insane battle. It's 5 cars in the back straight here. It's Romeo, Tindo, Caboza, Loveness. Man, I just want this camera angle to switch so you can get a sense of what an insane battle is happening here. It is Romeo looking to get an inside line on the Alpha Tower. He makes contact with the Williams, and a little bit of contact between the Haas of Titus, which is absolutely struggling on those hard compound tires. Loveness takes advantage of Titus and finds himself in P4 currently. It is an insane battle. Welcome to Austria, says Grass in the comment section, as Romeo Massingo is looking to punch it and take advantage of Titus, who is screaming, chasing down Loveness. Titus is having a little bit of a nightmare here, having had an insane start to his day. What a race! It is absolutely insane in lap 11 of 28. The DRS train is serving battle after battle after battle as Romeo in the McLaren looks to pretty much replicate what his teammate Josh, aka Damnesia, is doing. And Mello the Mello, Malusi the Malusi, is on a recovery drive himself. 10-lap old medium tires for the Mercedes driver. He's side by side with Tindo and dispatches of the Alfa Romeo into the left-hander. Tindo now will have a hell of a battle on his hands to catch up. Meanwhile, it's a hard tired party from Caboza all the way to the back of the grid, and we'll get a sense of whether or not these hard tires can start to sing as Loveness racks up a 3-second time penalty. Titus is looking to get back over here and possibly retake P4 spot. The Haas driver has not had the best time with these hard tires. Cicle, remember, mentioned that these tires are absolutely slow and they do take a while to warm up. Josh, 1 second off Ban Kobe. Josh has been eating into that that gap between P2 and P1, and Titus gets that move done on Loveness just before that heavy braking zone. It's redemption somewhat for Titus on those hard compound tires, and well, he will hope to hang on to the spot. Boo says Josh is going for P1. Absolutely. Let's catch up with this battle in the midfield before we catch up with the battle for the race lead. Sharuk Khan says Kushan in the comment section. Well, this is absolutely insane here. It is Tindo, and I would have you know that Lungs, who had that almighty spin all those laps ago, is fighting back, hoping to reclaim his spot among the points finishers here. Let's hop on board. He's chasing Titus's teammates, that being Enlebo out here. Meanwhile, Mello the Mello, Malusi the Malusi, has pitted for a pair of hard compound tires. So, as Mello has pitted now, we can assume that possibly Ban Kobe will be coming into the pits pretty soon. Because I can assume that the Mercedes drivers are in contact, and they're pretty much talking about when the one car will come in. Ban Kobe has taken the race lead courtesy of the safety car, and he has held his own out here in China. And we'll get a sense of whether or not he will be opting to come in now. Josh, aka Damnesia, has absolutely sent those tires, those medium compound tires, and has trimmed that gap from about 4 seconds to about 1.8 seconds now in lap 12 of 28. C-Clay said in the comment section that Josh is a beast around China, and it is proving so. Ban Kobe opts to stay out. Josh is humming. Josh is humming. Fire emojis for Josh. We can see whether or not he can eventually catch up. As you can see, that red light on the back of the Mercedes is starting to flash now, and Josh's battery is sitting at about 41%. Ah! What can Josh do here? And his teammate, I would have you know, is going nice and steady out in P6. Meanwhile, let's catch up with the battle in the midfield. It is Loveness versus Titus. These two have had a little bit of a scrap. They've swapped positions a couple of times. Score Thumbs Gaming says Josh took 9/10 off the previous lap. An absolutely insane effort. Ban Kobe struggling for speed, says Charlie 3 Stacks, as Loveness has a bit of a snap coming out of that right-hander now. He's looking to take advantage of Titus. Remember, Loveness is an absolutely insanely fast driver, but those time penalties always come back to bite him. His aggression is relentless. Absolutely relentless, the aggression of Loveness. And, Titus! What happened to Titus there? He absolutely slowed down there, and Loveness got an easy overtake. Titus losing it there on that short straight in sector 3. Oh, that is absolutely insane. Insane. Titus now is going to have to fight back and reclaim his P4 spot. Titus had a spin there. Oh, well, thank you very much, says Loveness. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, the recovery drive of Mello the Mellow sees him side by side with the Ferrari of Man Ray, and he gets that move done cleanly. Hards in China are hell, says C-Clay, and it's fair to assume that most of these drivers with the fresher hard compound tires in the bottom 7 or so could be taking them all the way through to the end here. Mello the Mellow with a recovery drive in prospect for him, being chased down by Man Ray, who will hope to reclaim that spot. If you've just joined us, welcome. It's been a breathless race out here in China as we catch up with this DRS train of Titus, Romeo, and it looks like Titus, Romeo, and Loveness out here. It's been a decent day for McLaren, an absolutely scorching effort from the likes of Josh and even Romeo here, who's holding his place out in P6. What can he do? He can see Titus inching closer and closer towards the back of that Williams, but can he capitalize? His battery is sitting at about 29%. Ban Kobe doing well, I see you saying in the comment section. Romeo went a little bit wide up there, kicks up a little bit of dust, does the McLaren driver. And let's see whether or not these guys can hang on to them. This race in lap 14 of 28 is led by Ban Kobe. Look at that ERS. He is fighting to stay ahead of the McLaren driver, which has been putting in an insane effort to catch up here to Ban Kobe. Josh, his battery is at 33% as Ban Kobe finally relents, coming into the pits. It's lap 15 of 28. What will Ban Kobe do? It looks like the hard tire compound coming onto that Mercedes, and yes, hard tires it will be in lap 15 of 28. And now Josh, aka Damnesia, who has been absolutely sensational in catching up to the race leaders, having come in after during the safety car, he leads the race. Can Josh hang on? Ooh, has a bit of a snap there out of that right-hander. Now, in previous seasons, Josh is no stranger to having a fantastic race and having some sensational overtakes, but then towards the end of the race, losing composure and somehow messing up his race. But of course, remember, C-Clay's not here. Mello is at the back, our two championship protagonists. So, with Loveness tasting him and Titus breathing down their necks, we can see whether or not Josh can hang on here. But he leads by a factor of 7.9 seconds. With 9-lap old medium tires, that's 8 seconds, hovering at that 8-second mark. Meanwhile, this little DRS train of Loveness, Titus, and Romeo has been so entertaining the whole day out here. The gap between Titus and Loveness about 8/10 or so, and Romeo pretty much keeping it fairly similar out here. And we're going to watch and see as they come through this heavy braking zone whether or not these guys can keep it together. Charlie says Josh can go double mediums. He started on the softs. It's Josh's race to lose. Well, I would have you know that Romeo has trimmed the gap to Titus to about 3/10 as they hurdle and scream their way down the start-finish straight. He goes... now, Romeo is very aggressive on this right-hander. We've seen him scrap it out with Tindo a couple of laps ago, and this is where he gains so much time versus other drivers. Josh must pit for softs in lap 20 or 21, reckons Crash, and we'll see exactly when he will come in. 10-lap old medium tires, I can assure you that grip is at an absolute premium. Those medium tires, definitely... not going to go towards the end of this race without starting to complain by some margin. Romeo has fought his way up the grid, nice and steady here. He's fought his way. He's now right on the tail of the Haas of Titus. But he's managing his battery fairly well, currently 27% or so, as he's quite late into the brakes, and that's where he gains so much time. Just watch Romeo and how close he gets to the back of that Haas, especially into the heavy braking zones. He brakes significantly later than Titus does Romeo. So it's quite interesting to watch whether or not he can take advantage towards the end of this race here. Now, as Buddha says, actually Titus is in prime position to win this if there is no safety car, 100%. Because Titus and Loveness have swapped places. They've made contact. Loveness has had a bit of a spin, and Romeo now is looking to take full advantage. He's side by side, and Romeo gets that move done, it looks like. Romeo has overtaken Titus, and he's still within DRS of the Haas driver. It's an absolute scrap. They've made a little bit of contact, and they're battling it out. They're not giving anything away. It's McLaren, Haas, McLaren. It's a McLaren sandwich, with Titus being the polony in the sandwich. Indeed, Titus can go to the end. He is the polony in this McLaren sandwich, but it advantaged Titus towards the end of this race. And Josh, aka Damnesia, will hope for another safety car, giving him a little bit of breathing room if he can somehow capitalize on coming back into the pits onto a possible medium or even soft compound of tires, depending where or when we get that safety car. Romeo finds himself in the podium places, ladies and gentlemen. Podium places. He's running in P3 on 11-lap old medium tires, but the chances are Mandla, aka Romeo, will most likely have to come back in, as we saw Loveness slip down to P4, having had that moment. Titus has been unleashed, says Charlie 3 Stacks in the comments. The gap between Titus and Josh, aka Damnesia, is about 8 seconds, as we have some track action here between Loveness and Romeo. Loveness got that overtake done on the DRS straight, and he finds himself back in P3. Titus is gone. He's out of DRS here, is Titus. Yo, what a gap. And Josh has opted to pit now. Josh finally relents, comes into a pit for that fresh set of medium compound tires. And where will Josh come out? Where will Josh come out? Even Labo has passed. Will Ban Kobe get past Josh? Yes! Ban Kobe is past Josh. What about Lungs? Will he get past Josh as he comes out? No. Josh, aka Damnesia, comes out in P6. P6 between Ban Kobe and Lungs, who are both running hard compound tires. Now, Lungs, it looks like, hasn't even pitted. Double medium strat for Josh. Sheetley reckons that Josh is in a good position considering his pace. He's going to be flying. We've seen what Josh can do earlier on in the race. Can he repeat that feat? Oh, man. Let's see what Josh's gap is to the leader. Josh, on a new set of medium compound tires, is 14.5 seconds behind the race leader. A brand new set of medium compound tires. We've seen Josh's pace around here. With 10 laps to go, can Josh bridge that gap? Can Josh bridge that 14-second gap to Titus with brand new medium? Can he get it done? Let me know in the comment section. He's going to be flying. Crash says, I did say that this is Titus's race, and now let's watch this battle between Brakeaway and Level. Brakeaway goes on the inside, he sends it, and he gets that move done cleanly. Brakeaway, fairly new hard compound tires. He will overtake Romeo because Romeo has finally relented. 13-lap-old medium tires. Romeo has come into the pit. What will Romeo do now? It's another medium compound set for the McLaren drivers. Well, he has to change a wing. Oh, Romeo loses time in the pit lane thanks to that wing change. And, Romeo might even come out of the points here, depending on how Tindo fares here. Oh, man. Yep, Tindo usurps Romeo, as does Selby Songo. Romeo, having had to change wings, has a titanic clash on his hands, and I would have you know that in the space of a lap, Josh has trimmed that gap to Titus down by a factor of a second, and Josh has dispatched of Josh has dispatched of September even, and he is now currently hunting down Brakeaway. We saw these two have a battle as Josh goes wide. Brakeaway says, you know what, I'm not even going to fight you. He relents and allows Josh into P3. Oh, that's surprising from Brakeaway. Interesting, he just let Brakeaway run. Josh is humming, says Charlie 3 Stacks. Crash is flying the flag for Titus as Romeo racks up a 3-second time penalty. I beg your pardon. Crash reckons you guys act like you don't know Titus now. Come on, man. You guys didn't see what Titus did in Brazil? Well, Crash believes in Titus. He believes in the supremacy of Titus when it comes to managing tires, when it comes to managing a potential race win. Wow, Brakeaway, what was that? Remarking Brakeaway really let Josh go there, which was quite interesting and surprising to see there. Romeo has a fight on his hand to get back into the points, considering that 3-second time penalty. Let's hop on board now with Josh, aka Damnesia. 9 seconds behind Loveness. Remember, Loveness has that time penalty. Josh has 8 laps. 8 laps to do something here. And let's see what the gap is to the leader. With 8 laps to go, he has trimmed the gap down to 12.8 seconds. Josh is laser focused, says Wandal Chezzy. 100%. And, well, the gap between Loveness and the race leader is about 3.8 seconds. So Loveness going nice and steady. 14-lap-old medium tires. Well, I'll tell you what, if Loveness can hang on to a podium position on this set of tires, that will be an insane effort here. But I can tell you that on a track with such high degradation, his tires are screaming at this point. And he's on that back straight using whatever is left of his battery. And we're going to see whether or not he can maintain here. But he's sliding out to that corner in Sector 3. I wouldn't be surprised to see Loveness relent here and finally come back into the pits. I would have you know that Josh has lost some time here. Remember, his gap to the leader was about 12 seconds, but he probably had a bit of a moment allowing Brakeaway to catch up to him. So Josh, who was absolutely screaming, has definitely lost some ground here, and Brakeaway is right on his neck. Let's see what the interval gap is between these two. The gap is increasing. The gap between Brakeaway and Josh is back to within half a second. And I would have you know that September, meanwhile, is on Brakeaway's tail. September has front row seats to the battle between that McLaren and the Mercedes of Brakeaway. Now, what can he do towards the end here? As Boo says, damn, Romeo is now out of the points. The playoffs are coming. With no mistakes, he would have caught up, says C-Clay, 100%. But it looks like Josh, in crunch time, is definitely making a couple of mistakes and losing all that ground to this man. It is another potential masterclass, another potential victory. Bootler reckons, well, congratulations, Titus, as things stand, as we hurtle towards the 22nd lap in this 28 race fixture, Grand Prix rather, out here at the Shanghai International Circuit. Crash is being proven right. Crash reckons y'all are making excuses for Josh now. Oh man, what an effort, what a drive it's been for Titus. He leads out here. Debo Kruk joined the wrong lobby. It is the ghost of Debo. He is not racing Peace, I would have you know. Earlier on in the session, he joined the wrong lobby, but Debo is definitely not in this race per se. Now, there's a bit of a battle taking place between the Red Bull and Alfa Romeo, that being Capoza and Tindo. Capoza just dispatched of the Alfa Romeo driver, but Tindo being Tindo, he will not take this lying down. Josh is starting to go slow. He's going slow, he's moving slow, and Van Kobe is catching up. Tindo is using every ounce of that battery to keep touch, to keep abreast of the Red Bull driver. And through the slow right-hander, Tindo opts to not go as liberally on the brakes as Capoza does. But Capoza in the Red Bull gets a cleaner exit. And what can Tindo do here? He's used so much of his battery, and it takes so much just to recover that battery power out here in China. Capoza keeping it nice and steady for Red Bull. He's managed to hang on to a possible points position. Penalties, I'll give you that information. Man Ray currently has 6 seconds down to P14, and Romeo and Loveness have racked up 3 seconds worth of time penalties. Now, Tindo, you're making the way to the back straight. Can you catch up and get this potential overtake done? Well, Tindo has charged his battery. It was at about 10%, but okay, no, I thought there was an overtake other ahead. Let's see what Tindo can do here. He's definitely not going to be close enough to Capoza to get that move done. So, a lot of work for Tindo here, but he's hanging on for dear life because Romeo is on his back. I can't believe you're disrespecting Titus like that, says Crash in the comment section. Ha! Well, Titus are hanging on to that reputation. D-Wax and Capoza are close enough to be having a little bit of a battle over here. Yeah, let's see exactly what Capoza is doing over here. Loveness is keeping P2 as things stand. Lungs has DNF. Lungs becomes the second driver to crash out of this race. It's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Lungs in the Alpine. He was running P13. Has crashed out. Lungs has crashed out. What'll that do? Will that bring out the safety car? It's a yellow flag in that first sector. But as things stand, M. Fundo is hoping, praying, keeping fingers crossed for his safety car. And I'll have you know, I'll tell you what, this man will also hope for a safety car. It's yellow flagged in sectors 1 and 2, but it doesn't look like the stewards are going to bring out the safety car. We have 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go here in China. No safety car. There is no safety car with 5 laps to go. And although the gap to the lead is about 11 seconds, Josh definitely has a hell of a fight in his hand. It's probably not enough time for Josh to catch up and have something to say as far as a potential race win is concerned here. Even Loveness has fallen back. The gap was about 3 or so seconds, but remember, Loveness is running 18-lap old medium tires. 4 laps to go. Josh bottled, says C-Clay. He's bottled it, mate. He's bottled it. He's bottling it. You're ruining it, mate. You're ruining it, Josh. Big man thing, yeah? Josh could have won this race, blood. But he's bottled it, blood. He's bottled it. That's what C-Clay reckons in the comment section. 11 and a half seconds. Well, I suppose Loveness could just stay out on track here with 4 laps to go. Loveness is a beast. Loveness is a beast, says says Kid K. And well, if he can take these tires to the end, that will be an insane effort. That brings me, yes, who's your driver of the day? 18-lap old medium tires. Give Titus his flowers, man. Give this Haas driver his flowers. 18-lap old hard tires. He pitted early. He stuck to his guns, did Titus. And so far, so good. He had a hell of a fight on his hands when those tires were still cold after the safety car. He lost some ground to the likes of Loveness, but as the race has gone on, he has proven his pedigree once again. And we're looking at a potential masterclass of tire management as Josh, in his fight back, sets a faster time. Titus is just flexing, reckons Charlie Three Stacks. As Buddha asks, there's a prime minister's position there by the Queen's flag. Oh, man. Yep, political turmoil out in the UK, and yeah, let's see how Loveness fares here. Now, we're on board with the Williams driver. Let's see how difficult it is from his perspective. We're seeing something pretty much close to what Loveness is seeing from his racing seat currently, and yeah, look how easy he's taking it through those corners, and of course he's losing so much ground to Titus as a result, because at this point he's really managing those tires, which are screaming at this point. 19-lap-old medium tires on a high tire degradation track. He committed to a two-stop strategy, did Damnesia, meanwhile, and he finds himself in P3. He is about 8 seconds behind Titus with 3 laps to go. Let's look now at the interval gap between all of these drivers. And it looks like there's a bit of a, these two cars, the AlphaTauris of Selby and D-Wax, just swapped positions on track. It is Selby now leading from his teammate currently. Meanwhile, Enlebo is looking to go better than P10 currently. Who's your driver of the day? Who is your driver of the day? Let us know. Oh, look at that. And Lebo sends it on the inside, or rather on the outside of Tindo, and gets that move done. The inside, I beg your pardon. The Haas driver clean through, but Tindo being Tindo, he will not go down without a fight. It's Thursday Action Night, only on YouTube. He opens up that rear wing. It's DRS for Tindo. DRS for Tindo down the start-finish straight. Can he get this move done into turn 1? No. He's close, but no cigar. Josh had a good week. 2 podiums. 100%. Absolutely. I would have you know that in his battle, to have something to say as far as as high up the podium he can do, Josh has managed to bridge that gap, to trim that gap to Loveness, whose tires have been absolutely screaming here. And I would have you know that as things stand, courtesy of that 3-second time penalty, Ban Kobe, if you can catch up here, Ban Kobe could have a potential podium finish here. But can Ban Kobe catch up with 2 laps to go? Well, Loveness's red light is flashing. And from the perspective of Josh, a.k.a. Damnesia, he's well within 3 seconds, of course, to be able to take full advantage of Loveness here. Loveness is about 8.8 seconds behind the race leader, that being that man, Titus. Ban Kobe P3, Ban Kobe podium, says Ludi in the comment section. It's a potential good day for the Mercedes driver. Potential redemption day here. Level has been picking off these cars one by one.
Kilibata one by one. Kilibata one by one. No, I'm not going to try to
Yes, Uzamile indeed has a Nebo in the Haas. He now is staring down D-Wax for a potential P8 spots out here. What can he do? What can he do? Yes, well, we're going to have to verify that if Enlebo did visit that mechanic in Vosloris, or if the Haas team sent that car to Vosloris. It's Enlebo versus D-Wax, as Caboza, who's had a quiet race down in P12, sets the fastest time on a soft compound set of tires. Meanwhile, I would have you know that Ban Kobe has caught all the way up to Josh, aka Damnesia. We're talking about a possible P2 finish for Josh. But Josh, as we've been catching up with other drivers, he's possibly fumbled again. He's folded again, blood. Big man Tink, blood. Oh, Ban Kobe gets a time penalty. Trying to catch up to Josh, aka Damnesia. He gets the overtake. Does Ban Kobe. But it won't count for much because Ban Kobe, trying to catch up to Damnesia, has racked up a time penalty himself. Oh, Josh, slipping and sliding and fumbling here. It's a fumble for Bankobi. It's a fumble for Josh, aka Damnesia. But one man who has not fumbled, one man who has kept it together is this man. It's Titus. Titus Malama, the former champion, holds his own in P1. Oh, man. Josh is slipping and sliding. Has Josh lost? Oh, Josh is out of the session. It's the ghost of Josh, aka Damnesia here. He's out. It's a possible network issue. Oh, Josh was having a fantastic game. It looks like he's ghosted here. Oh, Josh, aka Damnesia. Oh, man, well, these men won't mind. It's Bankobi up to P2 from Loveness. Oh, it's drama in the final lap out here in China. And Josh is out of the lobby. He finds himself in P5 now. Oh, a nightmare for Josh. Seppo Temba has managed to overtake Loveness. Seppo Temba and Titus are the top running drivers who have had a clean drive on this, the most difficult track. And I would have you know that this man, Titus, in the Hats is a former champion who has had an absolutely insane drive out here in China. He placed his car among the top runners in qualifying. He had an insane qualifier, and he's had an insane race, and he crosses the line in P1, lap 28 of 28. He has managed those tires with absolute surgical precision, has Titus. He finishes the race as a winner out here in China. Bankobi will cross the line in P2, but that time penalty will push Seppo Temba into the P2 spot, banishing Loveness down to P4. Oh, what a day. It's going to be P5 for Josh, aka Damnesia. It might even not be. Because if it's the ghost of Josh, then he will be overtaken by the likes of Selby. And the answer is yes. Selby goes past Josh, as does Malusi the Malusi. It's going to be P5 for Selby in the Alpha Tauri. Malusi the Malusi will cross the line in P6 from Endeavor, and the ghost of Josh will somehow finish in the points, but of course, those points will not count if he ghosts his way across the finish line. It is Damnesia 8, D-Wax 9, Romeo will cross the line in P11, courtesy of his time penalties, and my word, Man Ray is P13 in this race. It has been an absolutely insane day, an insane race out here in China. And right now, we're about to catch up, of course, with some of our top runners out here in the commentary box. It is Titus who wins in China. An absolutely insane day. Bankobi finds himself on the podium, and Seppo Temba, what a season, what a day, what a race for him. We'll first catch up with Bankobi. Welcome back to the podium. Congratulations. How was that race? Oh my word.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pete. I'm even out of breath.
It was a breathless race watching you. We saw your moments. Tell us about your pit strategy and how difficult it was on the hard tires after the safety car, and just your race after all of those events.
No, man, it was a great race, but I think I should have done better in terms of my strategy.
Yeah.
Seeing that it worked for Titus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm happy with P3.
Yeah, man. P3, what a drive that was. We saw you battle out. We saw you actually give a position up to Damnesia when he was still running. What was the thinking there? Were you just thinking, I'm going to play the long game there? When he was overtaking?
I was trying to be smart there. I was trying to get the RS because there was no way I was going to compete against Damnesia on mediums. So it didn't work out because I didn't get like a great exit. But yeah, that was the thought process behind that move. But it didn't work out. But I'm glad he ran out of petrol. And I got a P3. But yeah, it was a great race. Well done to Titus. and Tsepo Temba.
Seppo Temba, congratulations, back on the podium. What a season you've had, man. You and Kobe representing former Tier 2, well and truly comfortable in Tier 1. Man, tell us about that race. Congratulations, Seppo.
Thank you so much, man. It was a tough race, I had a couple of moments, but I think I just told myself that I must just bring it home and just bring some good points back for the team.
Man, and what an effort that was. Your teammate crashed out in the second half of this race. And towards the end there, we saw you holding your own. And did you have a sense of the people around you with time penalties? Because even despite that, you were still, going along quite strong.
I think it was only towards the end, Rebang maybe got a penalty. But before that, I think people around me were clear,
Yeah.
So I knew that I'm going to have to push hard on track as opposed to counting on other people's penalties. But when Bangobi got the penalty, I still tried to push because, with this track, you never know. It's just like, in case I make a mistake, let me rather stay as close as I can to cover the deficit.
Yeah, man. And you did a fantastic job. Another podium finish, Seppo Temba. An insane, beautiful season that you're having. It's beautiful to see. Titus is the race winner. He's on the top step of the podium. The former champion is back, showing your pedigree. Tell us how difficult, number one, that whole race was. You had an insane qualifier, and you took those hard tires for so long. How difficult was it towards the end?
Thank you. It was very interesting. It was so much fun, and I really enjoyed that. But then, in terms of strategy, the safety car worked to my advantage.
Yes.
And when I pit, my softs were giving up, so I had to take hards because I knew if I took mediums, I was gonna struggle the last 10 laps.
Yes.
As you would have seen with the guys who were still running on the mediums.
Yes.
So when I was midfield, I struggled a lot. I was catching up, but my tires were not warming up fast enough. I was really struggling to keep up with the pace, but as soon as they were lit, I was gone.
And we saw you have some insane battles fighting your way back to the front, and you touched on that tire warm-up issue. Bankobi, I'd like to ask you as well, the difficulty, especially after safety car, to warm up these hard tires on this track. Bankobi?
I think they were fairly easy for me compared to other tracks. Because China is usually listen. So I think it was easy for me because of my setup. I have a really aggressive suspension setup. So my campers are really tricky. So that's why people never ask me for setups. So it's much easier for me to warm up my tires, and to my own detriment because my tire management is not so good because of the setup. So it was easy for me. So that's why I didn't have a lot of moments with the hard tires.
Man. Now, all three of you are pretty much well and truly comfortably securing your spot in Tier 1 for next season. Tell us about looking ahead to the new season. We're almost at the end now. What your Titus, I asked you last time out, but Bankobi and Seppo Temba, I just want to know. Oh, Seppo Temba, you did tell me. Bankobi, I want to know your targets for next season.
Top 5 again. Because I'll be getting a wheel, so top 5, or maybe I'll be running for the championship. Who knows?
Who knows? I can't wait. And Titus and Seppo, your plans for the wheel soon?
For me, no. I still have to get a PS5 first, and then I can start wishing on getting a wheel. For now, PS5 is priority.
And Seppo?
Man, I'm definitely looking to get a wheel. With the way that the league is going, it's definitely the right trajectory to go to the wheel next. So hopefully next season I'll also be on the wheel.
Man, what a trajectory!
I forgot to mention something. It's really important for you to also ask, are we getting inverters? Because I'm tired of not racing. So I'm getting a wheel, I'm also getting an inverter, and I suggest that everyone does the same.
100%, 100%. Bangani in the comments is surprised that you're still on controller, Bankobi. And you, Tepo, Tember, and pretty much you, Titus, all three. So you guys are insane. I can't wait to see what you guys do on the wheels. And Buddha is saying, Ish, I miss being interviewed. A lot of you guys were being cheered on in the comment section. I can't wait for you to watch the race back and see how insane it was from top to the back of the grid. Thank you guys for such amazing entertainment. We will see you back on Tuesday as we move on to race number 23. Next week is the final week of this top tier 1 league. So make sure you're tuned in 7:30 on Tuesday and Thursday. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for the stellar commentary.
Only
next week.
Only a pleasure, bro. Thank you very much. And everyone in the comment section, it's been beautiful. Buddha, were you interviewed before? Bootlace asking. Selby in the comment section, congratulations for P5. And what amazing entertainment we've had. We will see you next week for top tier breakaway racing. Remember, Monday it is tier 2 and tier 3. From me, Bob, it's been a beautiful one in China. Thank you and good night.